Hands up if you've ever had a teacher who's like changed your life. I think looking back for me when in primary school, I remember I received the slap that changed my life for Mrs. Moai because I was late to assembly. And ever since that day, I have never ever been late to like anything. I am very time conscious. And then in high school, Mr. Mungai made me fall in love with, physics. I had the computer science teacher who also made me fall in love with like computers. And I always remember Mr. Mungai said one thing, Jacqueline Githaiga, you are not a goat. Yani, I don't have a tether on my neck and I should stand on my own 2 feet and figure out what direction I want to go to. So yeah, I love teachers. Teachers have shaped my life, they've shaped my careers, and that's why I'm excited about the conversation we're having today. I have on set with me a really cool guest, Felix Malombe. I'll just switch it over so that he can do like a quick intro of who he is.
Wow, thank you very much. My name is Felix Malombe, yes, as you said. The Executive Director at STEAM Labs Africa. We focus on training teachers on STEM teaching and also aspects to do with environmental sustainability. And above all that, I'm a math teacher. Awesome. I do teach at Crawford International School, one of the premier schools in terms of
premium
thinking. Yeah, but it's basically like, opening doors to the young people. And I believe that every child has an opportunity, whatever school they are in, if we get intentional about what we are doing.
Awesome. Yes, Crawford School is a trailblazer and innovative in around everything, like education, tech. It's amazing. Thanks for that intro. And you forgot to mention, I know you are one of the only 2 Kenyans who are finalists for the Education Award Medal.
Yeah, it's called the African Education Medal.
Yeah.
What happened is that this is a project by an organization called T for Education.
Yeah.
And they are partnered with Intel and HP and Microsoft.
Awesome.
And they are trying to recognize the amazing work educators are doing in our continent for some reason. We can talk about in the days to come. So I was part of that list. I was among the top 10 finalists. And we were 2 of us. There is another friend of mine called John Mogo.
Yeah.
And finally, the award was given to the VC of University of Cape Town. Amazing lady.
Awesome.
Doing amazing work.
Cool. And congratulations on getting to the top 10 finalists. I think a lot of glory has been lost in teaching. Like, I don't even remember the last time. Actually, my daughter told me the other day she wants to become a teacher because she loves her teacher very much and she helps her to learn. But I haven't had anyone tell me, Wangari, I want to be a teacher. What's going on? Have we lost the glory of teaching?
The teaching is still where it is.
Yeah.
It's only that we glorify other things. And in these days and age, we need to also remember these are not the days when if I sign up to be a nurse, not a school nurse, just a nurse or a medic, I have to be a medic throughout my life.
Yeah, true.
We're living in different times.
Yeah.
And the reason why, then again, you might think teaching is losing the lure and all that.
Yeah.
It's because, people are focusing on other things and they are trying to get quick fixes.
Yeah.
Teaching is a process. It's like you don't just go to that and then you get money and go. You don't go to that and get the glory and go. No, it's not about that.
Yeah.
Teaching is about the other person.
Oh, yeah, true.
Teaching is about the child. Teaching is about that parent. It's about that school system. Teaching goes beyond me.
Oh, yeah.
It's about influencing the lives of other people. And it's not, it's like mentorship on steroids. It's like, it's like you really, what I like to say, it's not a profession.
Okay.
Many people see it as a profession.
I think it's definitely like
it's vocation.
Yeah,
it's like
a vocation.
It's like what the world needs.
Yeah.
And it is what will make. It's what is going to make the difference in the world.
Yeah, you're building future leaders at the end of the day, teachers.
It's parenthood extended.
Oh, I love it.
It's like extension of what we are doing at home.
Okay.
So it might lose glory because it's not a fast thing. It's not a, we click and you double tap and you everything.
And you have a
it's
certificate.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing, it's about the teachers themselves. Teachers have not come out as people who are doing something. They like to, it's like they don't value what they are doing sometimes.
Yeah.
And some of them, it's because, this, like I said, it's a vocation. It's not more of a profession.
Yeah.
People might, it has to come from, I love it, so it becomes your passion. And then it has to connect with, what the world needs, so it becomes a mission.
Yeah.
And then from there, now you're able to connect the dots, like they say in Ikigai, that you have to do what you love, and you have to really bring that out. Many people don't do that. So that's why it has lost glory. Okay. But also, the governments of the world do not take teaching seriously.
So true.
According to a book I read from
No,
American.
it's not according to me. No, teachers are not the best paid, especially in Kenya. So which is very unfortunate. Yeah. Tell me about your book.
That book, there is a book called The Miseducation of the Negro.
Hey,
written by some 19 years.
I'm not ready, but I want to read it.
That's a very good book. Everyone should read it.
Miseducation of the Negro.
The Miseducation of the Negro.
Okay.
So the author says that education does not motivate voters.
Yeah.
We just ended an election.
Yes.
No one was talking really about education, really about what's happening. They have ideas about CBC just because it's the ones they are throwing out there. But really, when it comes to education, the educational reform,
okay,
it doesn't, because we are talking about children, so they don't have votes.
Yeah.
Yet, if we want to fix unemployment in Kenya, we'll go back to something we call 414 window. If you just said that, by the way, you said, if you remember Miss Mungai, in primary school, all the way to the physics teacher in high school.
Yeah, I remember.
That is what we call 414 window. You can change someone's life
they can.
between 4 years and 14.
Yeah.
The other things you're doing in high school and university is just trying to do quick fixes. So to do quick fixes rather. So if we can do something and really invest in the children in primary and secondary school, actually I would say if the children can be, we can start investing in good early years education.
Okay.
County government should do that, actually. If they invest in that, we'll fix the main challenges in 15 years, 25 years, and the workforce. We'll not have these issues we have. And the thing is, what someone, I think she's called Margaret from UK, said, you teach children how to think, not what to think.
Exactly.
And it is in school. The schools have that place. So teachers have not really seen what they hold. And I think the other people there, the policymakers, they are not in touch with what is happening in the classroom. So the teaching has lost some glory in a way, but it's still there.
Yeah.
We're still making a difference. Teachers are still shining and doing great things.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm saying T for Education and HP and other people who are, are doing something to support and, to bring back the glory for teachers is a very good thing they are doing so that we can, ensure that we're building a good generation.
Awesome. Cool. That is so clear. And I completely agree with you. Like, teachers, influencers in my time were teachers. Then teachers have always influenced me. Moving on, you touched a bit on CBC, and I know now your Crawford is British system, the curriculum. What are the key differences? Because I like how you said, like, I think a lot of 844, especially if you didn't get the right teachers, they taught you how to think. Like, they taught you what to think and not how to think. Can we touch a bit around like the differences between CBC, around the British curriculum, pros and cons,
You know what, at the end of the day, who teaches all these curricula?
Teachers.
Or curricula, I would say, or curriculums. Some people say curricula, others curriculum. But who teaches this? These are teachers.
Teachers, yeah.
Are teachers trained to teach CBC? Are they trained to teach 844? Are they trained to teach, IB? Or is it IGCSE? I even hear people saying IGCSE curriculum. We don't have that. It's Cambridge.
Cambridge, yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
So, teachers are not trained to do that. Okay, let me define curriculum in simple terms.
Yeah.
It is just educational experiences that focus on content and the way it is delivered to build skills.
Okay.
So whether you call it competence, whether you call it project-based, whether you call it problem-based, whether you call it whatever it is just using teaching and learning approaches to build the capacity of the young people in the classroom.
Got you. Love that explanation,
now, if we know that, then it doesn't matter what curricula we do.
Yeah, true.
Why? Because what matters is, are you giving the children the experience to think? Do they have the freedom to think? Are you trying to strengthen their muscles? You know, someone called Plutarch said the brain is like a sponge.
Yes, it is, especially with children. Yeah.
Actually, no, he said, no, I think I got the wrong person. Plutarch said it's like a vessel.
Yeah.
No. Let me rephrase that. Plutarch said the brain is not a vessel to be filled. It is. What do they say? They say it is like it's something to be ignited.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, Maria Montessori is the one who focuses on the brain being the sponge.
Yeah.
She says, even at this age, we just talked about your children, at this stage, as young as 4, 5 years, 6, 7, all the way to 8 years, the brain is just absorbing stuff. That's why it's very easy to teach languages, different languages, because it's a sponge. Yeah. When you're doing that, it doesn't matter what curriculum you're presenting. Okay. What matters is how you want to deliver it. Now, that's where curriculum comes in. That's where you hear competency-based curriculum, and some specialists have sat down and created approaches that can help bring out thinking. Okay. The Cambridge curriculum, if you look at it, it's just content which has been mismatched. So there is content that is delivered at year 6, another one which is delivered at Form 1 in our 844 system. And if it's the CBC, it's just focusing on certain things, certain areas, like citizenship, for example. It's a big thing today.
Even my daughters learn about. I'm like, what is this subject, citizenship? I didn't even do what is citizenship. It's
what you are called GSC.
GSC.
It's part of that. It's civics there.
Yeah.
And you know, it's so many things. But look at that. You are learning civics. They are doing citizenship. What is it that has changed? Nothing. Yeah. It's the same content. It's just the presentation approaches and consideration of the international standards and seeing how we can bring it home. Nothing has changed that much. Even the 844. It's just the educational reform and people presenting their approaches and what things they need to do. But the most important thing, it's not even skills, because we are not robots.
Yeah, we're not.
It's about building the values in the people. Yeah. So for example, just accepting everyone the way they are. Yeah. That's a big thing we need to teach. Yeah. So at Crawford International School, they have a subject they call life orientation. Okay. It was started by someone I know, Auntie Sandy.
Auntie Sandy.
Yeah, she
Go Auntie Sandy.
She's doing a very good job. She has this connection. After this, I remember to send someone her number because she is required somewhere. So what I'm saying is, life orientation prepares children to accept one another, to practice active listening. Yeah. You know, but that is what Crawford has done. It's called life orientation because it's something that is done in South Africa. In Kenya, we have citizenship and other things like hygiene being taught. What I realize is that people just package things and then they throw in and they call that a curriculum.
Give it a label.
Let me finish by this. Yeah. Why in Kenya don't we teach agriculture?
I know, it's ridiculous. I agree with you.
Whether you call it curriculum, I don't know what curriculum. Yeah. Why can't we teach agriculture as a subject from the lowest grade all the way, like we used to do in 844? Yeah. It was crap.
Yeah, it's
Why don't we teach, accepting one another? Yeah. Like, without, bias. Yeah. We just coming from a very divided election. Why can't we just accept that? That citizenship they are teaching and the students where your children go to school are learning is part of it is digital citizenship. Yeah. Because why would I insult you on a comment you post on LinkedIn? Exactly. Why would I bring my biases? How do we accept differences? It doesn't matter what curriculum you're teaching. It's children.
Yes, they're children and those values.
So when they talk about CBC, and I hear there is a task force that has been created by the new president, that is going to be created, that's not been created, to focus on what is happening and see the expense and the money that is spent on all that, and all the details that are, breaking the hearts of parents and teachers. Yeah. It's a question of, and I like the president on that one, because what it's done is he has delayed the gratification, because some parents are thinking it's going to be scrapped. Others are saying it's going to be here. Some teachers who have been trained and they are getting some money from it, they actually say a very mean statement, and I want to mention this. They say CBC is here to stay. That's an insult. You don't force anything, especially on education. Yeah. You talk to people because this is society. We are building societies. So even the 844 was perfectly fine. The only thing is they started removing certain things which were wrong. Otherwise, why are we here? And we are making, actually Kenya is doing very well as an economy.
Exactly, we're built
This is 844, man.
Yeah.
What is it? So the CBC will not do much difference. It's only that we have added other things, including citizenship and
carrying buckets to school, and I don't know.
Yes. So the only thing they must think is investment in education. That's where the parents are worried, because there is a lot of expense going to on the side of the parent.
Yes,
and
exactly.
not the government supporting. And then there is the equity is a big thing in education.
Yeah.
They're creating a bigger gap now instead of closing it. Because the children in the Ushago, the children out there are not getting what is it?
The
children in
quality
Nairobi,
of education in Nairobi.
They are getting. The teachers also.
Yeah. I understand.
Teachers, let me tell you, the teachers, you guys can discuss everything in policies and all that. The Kaimenyis and Magohas and Matiangis of education and Mohammed. When they sit down and discuss about what needs to be done, the teacher implements what he wants. They might tell you that
that's so true.
We say teachers are street bureaucrats in that. So they do what they want. So what we need to do is invest a lot in education. I know it doesn't motivate voters according to the Negro book.
Sad.
But if we can invest in education, we will solve all our problems in this country.
I'm
saying the government must invest huge amounts of money so that this teacher who has 100 students can have 25 students. Because there are so many teachers who are trained and they don't have jobs.
Yeah, that's so true.
So CBC can work or they cannot. It may not work depending on how you see it. So if Mr. I will say Mr. Ruto or Mr. President Ruto wants to do something, and especially with the education reform, then he must invest in spending a lot of billions of money, even if it means that sourcing funds from outside to just come and fund education. Our teachers we'll have enough teachers.
Yeah.
The teachers who don't have jobs will get jobs.
The
CBC will be fixed.
Will
be fixed. Will be fixed. It doesn't mean that the challenges are there and all of that. But what I'm saying is the CBC curriculum issues around financing, about burden on the parent will be fixed if teachers are there, if we have enough teachers.
Okay.
But also CBC brings something that is very important and
Which
people
is?
don't like: family engagement.
Oh yes, because I've seen like a lot of the assignments and homework is very family based. Like you need to.
The teachers can use that as a bad thing, in a bad way, because they just push it on you. Which is that's not the idea. The idea was, how do we engage families? Yeah. But then it comes at the backdrop at a time when, Gen Z and Gen Alpha and all that. You're talking about that. Those children are in schools. Where are the parents? The parents are, you and me, we are working.
We are working and you're being told, I need homework. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, we need to reconcile with our society the way it is today. During our time, mom would come from work, you come with
homework.
Yeah. and then the other thing is, at least you would get involved. Right now, if you want to really pull in and support your children with education, you might even quit your job. There are so many parents.
I remember even during when COVID hit, I'd called you. I was like, Felix, I need help. These children are driving me up the wall. Can we find out how to homeschool them? Which was like, and you talked me through that, which was, and even that was a time I even loved and respected teachers like much more. That's
one we must say. So we need to have a balance. It's just a discussion we need to have. This task force should just look for the public participants about just a discussion. How do we engage family well? What are the best practices? Not what people have written who have no reality in the ground. I mean, like, who do not understand what's happening.
Yeah, what's happening?
How do we engage families? How do we engage mom? Because mom is also working, she's paying the school fees. Yep. How do we engage parents who have never gone to school? Because some of our parents never went to school. Like,
yeah, it's true.
So how would they have helped? Yeah. So how do we craft a good strategy of family engagement in education? Otherwise, we'll lose it in the name of the teacher. The teacher is pushing to the parent is pushing to the teacher. I pay you to do this. No, we don't need to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And so building societies is hard. So Mr. President has some work
together
with this cabinet.
I hope he does prioritize education, as you've said.
I would like to see that.
So we touched a bit around, I'd love to know what your experience is with teaching like Gen Z and Alphas, because they've gotten quite a name in the workspace around their behaviors and their characteristics. What's your experience?
I was reading somewhere that at the moment, and we need to now talk about things like ageism.
Ageism, yes. I actually have an episode on ageism.
Yes, that's why we need to talk about it, because we are working with 4 generations.
Imagine.
4 generations.
Yeah, that's so true.
A friend of mine one day, did something about where she shared information, by mistake. So she was scared that someone would see her age and then label her. And I felt I had not learned about that. So I was so broken when I saw her breaking down because that she was scared about that.
Yeah.
Because it's real.
It's real, especially for women.
I go to work and I'm like, someone is telling me, you guys nowadays, you don't listen. I'm like, no.
Which guys?
Which guys? I mean, like, young people, young men, you need to be, I don't want to hear that because I'm here to deliver on task.
Yes.
We do not want to bring that at workplace.
Yeah.
And the same thing is what we say. There is a book called Teachers These Days.
Teachers These Days, Yeah,
there is another book. There is another book which came before the Teachers These Days, which says Kids These Days. And people go ballistic and they blow out things out of proportion, trying to label children and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, for me, it's looking at how do I use the characteristics that my students bring to their classroom.
And every child is different.
Yes,
Yeah.
the characteristics that the child brings into my classroom, and bring into the class, like it's a culture. They bring in a culture in my class.
Exactly.
How do I use that and do something called multiplier effect?
What's a multiplier effect? I know what it is, but in case for my audience.
For education.
Yes.
See, I am a multiplier. My job at workplace, I have 25 students. I'm just giving a random number, 25 students. Each and every one of them come to me uniquely as who they are.
Yes.
If I try to check how they are doing academically in terms of how they did in math, how they did in the last psycho test. Psycho test is like a CAT, like a continuous assessment test. If I check that, I'll see the differences. First, there is a child who came to school because mom and dad were having an argument and they had to sit for that test and they got 20 out of 40.
Yeah.
Another one got 2 out of 40. Another one got 6 out of 40. Another one got 40 out of 40. If I use that to define who my students are, I make a mistake.
Yeah, true.
The multiplier effect calls me to see students not as, the way they say numbers. For me, it's not, I will go and try and say, not as marks.
Yeah.
But I see the whole child. One of the biggest things in education, and that's why I say we must hire more teachers so that we have connection, is connection. So you cannot teach me if you don't connect.
Exactly.
You can tell me everything, I can write notes, I can cram them, but we don't even in lecturing. We don't connect, you are wasting your time. So they keep talking about 4 C's in education: creativity, curiosity, critical thinking, communication. The other one is connection. It is the first thing actually, which should be. Before you can be creative, you need to connect with me. Like right now, we are having a conversation. If we are not connecting, what are we doing?
Nothing. It should be so flat.
We have to do like that. Now, connection does not mean you have to be like me. No.
Yeah, I don't.
You all need to see me.
Yeah, and listen.
And that's why I like to define respect. They say respect is, just tell me what the world says, that it's trying to.
Like if I see you as a valuable person and I just take you as you are, like I respect your views.
Yes. Yeah, it's like telling people that treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I like treat people the way they want to be treated.
Yeah.
Treat people the way they want to be treated. That is Gen Z. Yeah. People define them as people who are entitled.
Yeah.
But it's because you guys don't understand.
Yeah.
Treat people the way they want to be treated. You know what I'm saying here? I'm saying when I see you and I see another person, I need to see you as the way you are.
Yeah.
And try to, accept you the way you are. I see the other person, they are different. I see them the way they are. And accept them the way they are. I'm in the classroom. Right
and you're seeing all this,
I'm seeing that parent, child who was beaten because they did not take their breakfast and they don't want to learn today. I'm seeing that other one where there was a fight. There is this other one who just woke up, he slept for 9 hours, he just stretched and he's so ready to learn. The teacher must see that. They must connect with that. So what I say about respect is now you respect me the way I am, not the way you want me. It's not about me. It's
not me imposing my feelings and
Yeah. So it's not like treating everyone equally.
Yeah.
In education, we say people talk about differentiated teaching, differentiation. Some teachers have an argument about that. And there is another one now called universal design.
Yeah.
In learning. So you see students uniquely as they are.
Yeah.
Then from there, you'll develop content and work and activities that are aligned to that.
Yeah.
If we do that, we will be, we will be touching the lives of the children. And so we must from at an early age, before we even go to the classroom, prepare our minds to lose control.
Interesting.
Now, that is dangerous for teachers.
Yeah.
And, I just asked for a school to allow me to go and see their head teacher so that I can propose digital transformation in classroom or in schools. And they tell me you have to write a letter. Remember how your head teacher was a strict person? No one would go, even your parents would not see your head teacher. That is the same thing. That is the thing that breaks education again. So we must relax.
Yeah,
and
drop
just
egos.
no titles, man. Let's relax because
we're here for the children.
We are here
for
these young people. Yeah. So let me say now about Gen Z and Gen Alpha, which are now the people coming up. People think everyone is Gen Z, by the way. No, there is a difference.
The Alpha as well. Yeah,
the Alphas are different, totally different.
My kids are the Alphas.
Yes, yeah, those are different because they are adults and they are kids.
Yeah, exactly. They're so woke. I'm always like, oh my God, did you just say that?
Yeah. And I like that. I like them. I love
them. Even me, I love it.
I love them. I love them. I wish I was like that.
They tell you, no, I'm not doing that. And why should I? And you're like, okay.
Do you know what my daughter told me the other day? And I like to quote my daughter because she's...
Even me, I love quoting my kids. Tell
me
yours.
My daughter, last week, she said, okay, we're having an argument. Yeah. And I was not listening. It is something that we do a lot as guys. Yeah. We don't listen. Because we always are trying to get solutions.
Yeah, yes.
The girl is not asking me for a solution. She just wants me to listen.
Listen. Yeah.
Just listen. Dad, listen. So after we have had a conversation, I realized I'm losing. So I just kept quiet. She said, actually, Dad, I think you need to go to a dad school. And I'm like,
hey.
What do you mean? Yeah, you can actually go to a dad school. They'll teach you how to be a good dad.
Oh.
That's not Alpha. That's not Gen Z.
Yeah.
Gen Z are the fast guys, fast. But now the Alpha have another level of maturity.
Yeah.
Now, what happens? My daughter tells me, you need to go. That was on a Friday. On Saturday, I wake up very early, go for my job, go do my work. Then afternoon, I come pick her. We go out.
Yeah.
Then she asked me, when we are walking around and doing some rounds out there, she asked me, Daddy, you went to a good dad school? I said, yeah, early in the morning, I did. Then on Sunday, we differ.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling her, you need to brush. You have your
things to do.
There is the things that you've done. When you wake up, don't come to your laptop. We don't do that. When you wake up, you don't. By the way, I'm talking about a 5-year-old. you brush, then you stretch, all those things. Then she says, Daddy, actually, I think you went to a wrong dad school. That's the conversation we are having. And she's telling me you need to keep quiet and just listen.
Yeah.
Dad, no, that's what it's called active listening. And I'm learning.
Yeah.
So I'm learning from a 5-year-old. Is that happening in our days?
Yeah, I mean,
that person is in the classroom today.
Awesome.
We have this teacher who tells people they must keep quiet.
Imagine.
This will not happen. You're going to break that child.
Difficult if you ask questions, yeah. Yeah.
That's why we are going to talk about discipline and how it is carried out.
Yes, that was my next. What's your take on, when I went to school, I mean, I wouldn't say there was a lot of corporal punishment, but I was slapped, you're beaten, you're like, and you go to your parents, you're like, yeah, you deserved it. Right now, I don't even think anyone, kids actually even disciplined corporally in schools. And what's your take on that?
You started by saying, Miss who?
Miss Mwai standard. I was, those slaps that bring your brain back in order. And you're like, it's changed everything. And from that day, I've never been late in my life. Because I remember that slap.
I am talkative. I'm an extrovert.
Yeah.
I went to Form 1 and I was slapped. I fell down.
Okay.
I was tiny. I was slapped because I was making noise. Because I was just engaging guys. We just come from different places. What's your name, by the way? What's your name, by the way? Hey, man. You look different. You are too big. I was having that. Then the teacher was standing at the window during the prep time in boarding, and he was just looking at me. Young man, stand up and go stand there. Then he came. You are making noise. Other people are studying. And I was down. This part, my body, I don't know, it's my body or something. The fingers were showing. Until I became the school head boy that time, that's when it started now going away because people are still labeling me as the guy who was hit until the fingers were showing.
Yeah.
That is corporal punishment in
Yeah.
a way. And I have no problem with the way we dealt away with that because it was put away.
Yeah, it was put away.
Some people still practice it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anyone because I can't say that because
Yeah.
that is illegal.
Yes, it is.
It's illegal
Yeah.
in Kenya and most of the schools, even around the world. Now, the problem is not we put away punishment and rewards because sometimes I hear now we have rewards.
Merits.
Yeah,
charts.
like now, you know, and then even other people have warnings. Like Crawford International School has, they say the cat has 9 days. 9
9
lives.
lives. Even you have 9.
So you have 9 lives in Crawford. You misbehave, warning 1. You misbehave, warning 2. You misbehave, warning 3. This forms something called a demerit.
Okay.
You start again, warning 3, 4, 5, 6, demerit.
Yeah.
Actually, there are people who have exploit. What do they say? They have finished all their lives. So they have left the school.
Oh,
One boy was so cool, and he kept just messing up. He just kept messing up. He was in my class, year 9. He had to leave. Let me tell you, I wanted to correct the principal. Do you know why? Let me say something. When a child is misbehaving, just like an adult, and dads and moms know this, when mom is not okay, she'll keep saying things. She wants you to listen.
Yeah.
When you listen, active listening, you'll hear a need that is not being met.
yeah, that's so true.
Stay with me. A need that is not being met.
Yeah.
When the dad is clumsy and he just walks up and you just know, you don't start shouting at him.
Yeah.
You tell him, by the way, are you okay?
Yeah.
That's a very good question. That's what Sandy taught me.
Yes.
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
How is life?
Yes.
That's what she says. And I learned that because people don't just want to be mean.
So true.
Out there, even the people who are knocking other people's cars.
Hurt people.
Don't
hurt
come
people.
out. Don't come out and say, "What are you? Do you know where you're going? What is wrong?" No. We don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Ask that guy, "Are you okay?"
Are you okay?
Because he's
You'll be slapped.
Yeah. Now, take that to the classroom.
Yeah.
The reason why I don't want to write notes today is because I'm not okay.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm lazy. And if I'm lazy,
Yeah.
there is a way to fix laziness. Will you slap someone for not writing notes? Yes, people do that. Will you give them a warning? Yes, they do that. So in schools, I have a suggestion.
Yes.
Yes, we have the detentions. They don't work because
No,
what you are doing,
so chill.
you are breaking someone's emotional thing. The mental health is broken. When you put me at the corner there, it's better even to slap me
So true.
than to break, because like
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you beaten me, the pain can go, but my mind is broken. When you shout at a child in a classroom, like you're blowing them, I mean, like you are shaming them.
Yeah, it's embarrassment. Yeah, children
So
don't like shame.
that
Yeah.
is, it's not children, it's me.
Everyone.
You shout at me. My wife helps me, you are shouting. But I'm telling, no, I'm excited. I'm not shouting, I'm just excited by the problem. You know, it excites me such that I raise my voice. And by the way, when you're shouting, we say it's the emotional distance. It's stretched, so I can't hear you.
Yeah.
So there is that psychology of all that. But I'm saying, if we want to change our societies,
Yeah.
and I believe the conduit for change society is at home and in schools.
Yes, completely, 100%.
Church only extends
No
what
church.
happens in those two places.
Yeah.
Or mosques. I'm just, religion only builds on what is done at home,
Home and what is done
and what's
at
done at school.
Yeah.
Because those are the two centers of power.
Yeah.
I may say that again. The two centers of power in our societies is at home.
And at school.
Actually, someone said, if you want to change the world, go home and love your children, love your family.
Oh, yeah, that's so
So
true.
having said that, we have tried things like detention. It doesn't work. We have tried something like rewards. I take this away from you. You're not watching TV because you did not wash your utensils, you did not make your bed. Today you are not going out. Mm-hmm. I take away that from you. Now, that does not work as well. Mm-hmm. Do you know what works? It's called restorative practices.
What is restorative practices?
Restorative practices are those practices that bring in someone from the situation they are in, they speak about it, or they hear others, and then get the courage to speak about it.
Okay.
And it's a big thing. It's a huge project. But schools are not going that way. You know, when they removed punishment, most schools never did even the reward, they never did even detention.
Yeah,
they just left everyone. And that's how teachers' glory was lost. Because teachers' glory was how I punish people. Yeah. How I'm known famously for beating people and getting children to pass in mother because of how I beat them.
Because you're fear.
When that was taken away,
and then
part of the glory was lost. But teachers are still powerful if they are empowered.
Yeah.
Restorative justice empowers teachers to take charge of the children's lives. So this is what we will do. We'll have you, your children, and myself, and dad, and we sit down. Maybe the child has hit the other one. When they hit, you can't hit your brother, but you'll do it.
Yeah.
So we need to hear how she felt when she was hit. Okay. We want to hear why she did it. Okay. She will explain. There will be accusations, but that's part of it.
Yeah.
I know it sounds like so, so it's so simple.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's that's not change anything. But let me tell you, there is a lot of power in that. In restorative justice, there are things we call circles. So if we put people around that, let's say a student has offended another, and then we just hear about the harmed and the one who is harming the other one, and we just listen to them, and we tell them these are the consequences without threatening them. The child will come out, and this one will learn from this one will learn from this one, and if we do that for a long continuum, the children will be restored.
They start to change behaviors. Interesting.
That's why counselors are there, by the way.
Yeah.
They help with that. But now it's not a counseling job. It is the counselor developing a strategy
for the teachers.
Those are teachers will take charge of that. Let me tell you, I've been a class teacher for 2 years. I want to one day for you to interview one of my students, if Please. It happens. Let me tell you, what we have done in my class is accept everyone.
Yeah.
What we have done in our class is look out for our parents.
Oh, look out for the
parents.
Imagine
teenagers who are fighting with the parents, going every day at home to hug mom and tell her, Mom, when we are eating, put your phone away.
Love it.
It's empowering people. It's people, by the way. And for me, it's the children. Empowering children to see themselves. To see themselves. Yeah. To see that dad went to Canada and he came back and was shouting at mom and he was drunk and saying, you know what, Dad?
That's bad behavior.
That's not good, Dad.
Yeah.
You know what? We have been missing you.
Yeah.
So you come when you're
That's
drunk.
a very different generation. Us guys, millennials.
You see that? Yes. You see.
And
now,
then you repeat that behavior in your relationships. It's so crazy.
Gen Z.
Yeah.
Doesn't have this thing where you tell them, I used to go to very far to get water. Don't do those things.
Okay.
They don't understand. They are dealing with serious things, like someone bullied me online.
Yeah.
They are dealing with, no one likes my TikTok. They are dealing with serious things. It's not like what you guys were dealing with water. Water is a simple thing. I'm broken. So, and they are, that entitlement which is related to the. By the way, these things we see as problems, they are good opportunities. Like when you see them being entitled.
Yeah.
When you see them crying often, it's not like they are not strong. They are strong. They are only expressing themselves.
Exactly.
So if you give them an opportunity to express themselves, even at home, give them an opportunity to, speak about what is it that is happening.
You, yeah.
How did daddy's situation, how did my drinking, mess you up?
Yeah.
Even dads will change.
Awesome.
And if they say people don't change a lot, especially
I've heard that.
But the children
yeah.
have an opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
Because children then, again, also from school we say children don't do what you ask them to do.
What do they do?
They do what you do.
Oh, yeah.
And children don't listen to you, especially when they are teenagers. They listen to their friends.
Yeah.
That's why when you model and you connect that family, that child and that child will talk. They will do what they want to do. But it's a good thing if there is that thing. So teachers, we must be the multipliers. Parents, we are the multipliers. And our multiplying effect will come out when you see those modeled good behaviors and values.
Awesome. Cool. I guess we've talked a lot around your experiences, your challenge. What are some of the challenges that are faced by teachers?
I'll start with the first one. Do you know why schools focus on grades? Do you know why?
Who knows?
Because of you, parents.
I know, me don't really. I mean, I care to an extent.
It's us parents. I'm a parent. Let me say you guys. Because I was trying to put myself us and you.
Yeah.
But it's not like that. It's schools in Kenya and schools around the world are going through pain because parents are so entitled as to, I pay you. You don't pay a teacher. You can't pay a teacher. Really.
Yeah.
You can't. No one, I can say that. No one can pay me. Because when I go out there, I pour my heart.
Yeah.
No one can afford me.
Amen.
And all the teachers must hear that. No one can pay you. Because then when you're doing those dances, you know, you're jumping with the kids. When you're running, and I play football with year 7s and year 8s and year 9s. When you're doing that, I am putting myself there with my heart.
Everything.
Nobody can quantify how much they are paying me.
Exactly.
So then, the first person to change and to help the teachers and to ensure the teachers have challenges, it's us parents.
Okay.
Let's respect our teachers.
Amen.
Teachers are going through stuff. You are the ones who put down a teacher at home and tell them, you know, that child, oh, that teacher is so mean. How did he do that? I've been bullied by a parent.
Really? There's like teachers,
so many
parents
times.
who are bullying teachers?
The first person to tell me I'm half-baked as a graduate was a parent.
Oh, no.
Because the child brought a laptop to me, the laptop was broken, and the child, when they came later, the child said, I gave him my computer was fine, it was not broken, I only needed him to connect to the Wi-Fi. Then when he gave it to me, it was broken. So you see, it's me against the child.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, if it is broken, can I pay for it? But the parent had already set out a case for me.
Oh, no.
Then when you go to schools also, your children are different. We cannot judge all students by grades.
So true.
Let's stop putting children on IG exams and KCSE and defining them. We need to stop that. If a child does not do it well in mathematics, find ways of supporting that child. If they still don't do well, it means that's not their strength.
So maths is not yours.
Let's do music. If you love music, let's do that.
Yeah.
If you do media, do that.
Yeah.
If you're a content creator, learn a lot of English. Focus on English, and
I like that.
and then learn about social issues about people, so that then you can speak about these issues. You see, I'm saying that, and people are looking for careers. Let me tell you, the generation that is in my class today, and I'm telling you, from kindergarten all the way to year 13 or from 4, all those children, the ones who are in class, it is not going to be, especially in Africa, I'm speaking about for my continent now, especially in Africa, by 2050, those guys will be working.
Yeah.
When it dawns on us that the population of young people is increasing in Africa, the other countries is going down.
Yes.
These children will be sought after, even if they had a D. Because what they have, there are many young people in Africa, that's labor force. Let's see the big picture. The big picture is we are raising the labor force of the world.
Awesome.
Africa is on the rise. Teachers have a critical role in that. Parents, let's pull together. Let's work on that so that we empower a generation that is going to work in Norway, London, they work in Vancouver, and they'll still be here.
In Nairobi.
That is why COVID happened. Things don't just happen, by the way, to prepare a generation. So teachers must then upgrade themselves in terms of use of technology to teach. Teachers must then know it's not just teaching a CBC or a Cambridge. It's about, because that's what happens. The teachers in Crawford are the same the ones in 844. There is no difference.
So they pay.
Just the pay, the pay. And just the pay because the government has refused to pay teachers. I can say that.
Yeah.
Parents, government needs to invest in teachers because that's where the world is going to change. And let me tell you, the multiplier effect I was talking about, in 2050, if we do not prepare our children in school today, by 2050, you know, we keep talking about 2027, 20, boring stuff. If we talk about 2050, we are going to have a situation in this country where it doesn't matter who will be the president, there will be chaos. But if we invest in education, in fact, you know, Kenya is doing very well, by the way.
In education?
No, by the way, 844 curriculum was one of the best curricula in
I
Africa.
agree. When after 844 and going to abroad to study, I was like, 844 taught me enough to get through a lot and excel.
Yes.
Actually, yeah.
Yes. So if we're going to if we need to do something, it's prepare our children in the classroom, and this is teachers and parents, and not focus on grades. By the way, even if your child gets a D, it's okay. Let me tell you, they could be businessmen. It's like what they say: you cannot teach a lizard to swim.
Yeah.
And the way you cannot teach a fish to climb a tree.
Yeah.
So we must see that. We must stop seeing children. It's because I'm an engineer. They must be an engineer, or they must be. That is the thing people say, but they don't mean it. Even when I go back home, I start looking at my daughter, I say, you must do well in English, you must do well. No. Slow down.
See your child as it is. That's why some of the parents have opted for quitting jobs and doing home-based learning.
Homeschool, yeah.
So we don't want to go that way because, okay, it has its challenges. It's a good thing. It has its own challenges. But how do we reform our schools to capture that? And let me tell you, if we do that, our teachers will be at a good place to empower children. Yeah. Because the truth is, we spend more time with your children than you do.
Yeah, very true.
So if you give us that chance, we will shine. Number 2, schools are toxic places to work in.
Schools are toxic places.
Let me tell you, the worst thing that has happened to me is someone shouting me down. You know, I'm a dad. You know, when I walk out of that class, I'm a dad. Forget about the students I was teaching.
Interesting.
You don't tell me, you pay me. The head teacher, the deputies, the senior masters. I don't need that. We are not equal, but we are who we are. Yeah. Give me a chance. Schools are the, let me say that. I have worked in KPMG, I've worked at Davis and Shatcliffe, but the toxicity in schools is happier. Every day I go home like a little child.
Crying. I'm
broken.
Oh no.
You know, people say, you know, families are going starve, but I would rather go home at any given time. Whether my wife is going to shut me down or whatever it is, I better deal with my wife than out there someone insulting me. At schools, teachers are going through a lot. Let me tell you, the head teachers are breaking.
Is it the parents, the students, is it the staff?
The parent is being independent by the parent. The teacher is going through a lot of pressure. He pulls it on the teachers. Yeah. The teachers go to the children. Some of them are mean to the children. They don't want to be like that. So can we have restorative justice for teachers? Where teachers just sit down and they just speak. And freely. Because there is a lot of spice around teaching. Yeah. Let me tell you what happens in public schools. A friend of mine was interdicted. Why? Because the teacher doesn't like him.
Oh no.
Let me tell you, if I want to go to a school like Pangani Girls today, it is very hard to meet the principal. For no reason. Really? Bureaucracy. There is no reason. So what happens to the teacher? The teacher is so scared. There is a lot of entitlement. That thing of not losing control. Teachers are going through stuff and they think they are doing well. They are not. By the way, getting A's is nothing. Children are getting A's and kill themselves because you broke them to get those A's. So if there is a place we need to restore order, and it is about mental health, it's among the teachers. Because teachers are touching live wire, the students. This is the generation that we are raising. So if there is something we're going to reform, apart from now talking about parents and what parents are doing at home and how they can support the school, and how some of them be the teachers, apart from all that, is the school leadership.
Okay.
I feel like all the head teachers need to go for
mental well-being.
Yes. And that is our leadership course that each teacher must do. And I'm not talking about Crawford. I'm talking about everywhere I've been. Because I work with schools around Kenya. I work with schools like, the Brabants. I have worked with Hillcrest. I do that support through STEAM Labs Africa. I go looking for to train children on coding, train children on problem solving, on SDGs.
Yeah.
But teachers won't allow me to do that. The systems don't allow me. Do you know why?
Why?
Because they feel they're in control, so I'm coming into their space. So that is what is happening. So when a teacher messes up, because teachers are human beings, when they mess up, they pull down. No one is supporting them. So it's like you're living in, it's like a prison. That's where the glory goes. Then you don't have the permission to punish the child. Yeah. You don't have permission to, there are these laws here and there.
Yeah.
We have to have a conversation and see how we support teachers. Because let me tell you, this continent is on the rise. If we do not work on the teachers, we can talk about AI, we can talk about whatever it is that you're talking about, and you'll never go anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Beautiful. Is there anything else you wanted to touch around your career, teaching? It's been very enlightening.
Yeah.
Before we
maybe what I can say. Sorry, I'm so excited.
No, I love it.
This is it. When I say 2050, I'm very serious about it. Okay. I want to raise my hand in 2050 and say, I raise a generation that I equipped you with values.
Yeah.
And the values here, I'm not talking about, these things about, I'm not even talking about religion.
Yes.
I'm a born-again Christian. I'm into that. But I'm talking about that. Because in my class, I have Indians.
Yeah, people without any
I have
different
Muslims.
religions.
There are people who have no religion.
No religion, exactly. Yeah.
And in 2050, when the African continent is on the rise, Agenda 2063, when it comes, if it finds me here, I want to raise a hand and say I raised 50 billion or 50 million young people into the labor force.
Yeah.
What I mean is this. There are jobs that do not require technology.
Yes. I agree.
Actually, all jobs that are routine can be taken over by computers and technology.
Yeah.
But there are jobs that need people.
Yes.
Persuasion.
Exactly.
Emotional intelligence.
Yep.
Those careers are still intact.
So intact, so important.
My job is not to train. I'm a computer engineer.
Yeah.
I'm a computer scientist teacher, a science teacher. I'm a maths teacher. But my job is not to train that.
Yeah.
My job is to pass on
knowledge.
I mean, like, it's like competence, it's like skills. The way someone can drive whatever they choose to do.
Yeah.
So I develop problem solvers. At STEAM Labs Africa, we train children on entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
We train them on coding and AI. We train children on gaming,
Develop,
because
yeah.
gaming is a big thing today.
Yeah.
We train children on aspects to do with creative design. And all that, let me tell you, it's not skills. It's a way of expression. I want children to express themselves the way they know.
They need, yeah.
The way they do know how to.
Yeah.
The person they are to come out. So when I give a project about mobile app development, I'm expecting in the team, because I work with children working in teams, I want the children to work together with someone who is good at art, and they'll be able to color. Others who are UX and UI. I saw something that you're doing about that. I want someone who is able to come in here and articulate.
Yeah.
I'm good at pitching.
Yeah.
So in group, that's what I do.
That's my
I don't
part.
even code a lot.
Yeah.
You know? So we need to build these things around children. Children to work together with others, collaboration there. But then, you know, without putting them in silos or boxes that you have to code.
Yes.
I just want children to come together.
Just come together and figure out.
If you are a creative designer, design. If you are a coder, code.
Code.
If you are an entrepreneur and someone who pitches an elevator pitch, do that.
Yeah.
But above all, we must train our children about certain skills like financial literacy, public speaking, confidence, and just articulating yourself with clarity. Those are the things that will matter. Teachers, don't do that. They teach content.
Yeah, by the way.
So we change, instead of just focusing on content, and focus on values and, you know, skills. Not skills like, you know, connecting wires. No, I'm talking about skills like, you know, active listening.
Yes.
You know, accepting differences.
Empathy.
Those
that
things.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
Then you'll be in a good place. My approach is guided by 3 Ps in my teaching. By the way, I teach STEAM now. That's where I can bring that. I teach children how to think and come up with solutions to global problems. It's guided by problems. The first P is problems. So I want the students to see the world in terms of challenges that are there. And then, challenges that are there, then they become opportunities. So the second thing is they use an approach, you might know, design thinking.
Yes.
Human-centered design.
Oh, wow.
Where they see, so it's like problem, process. The process is supposed to help them see the problem with the user in mind.
Yes.
So not just designing a car, a cool car. No, you're designing a cool car for a cool guy. Yeah? So that guy is the one that you are considering from time to time. And then finally, you now come up with a P, a prototype. And at the end, you'll do a pitch for it.
Wow, kids are learning this at what age?
Anybody can learn this, even parents.
Even parents.
So this is the thing. I teach children from 4 years all the way to 18. That is where I am for the purpose of the focus. But now I work with university students because they are the ones I train to go and deliver that. So what am I saying? I'm actually extending to 27, 28.
Yeah.
So anybody who is open can come and teach that approach. It's my framework at STEAM Labs Africa. I train children on problem, process, and the prototype of the product.
Yeah, the product.
So whether you make an app, it's up to you. Whether you make a bicycle that does what with mechanics, whether you do some work of a piece of art, you are solving the problem. So you can use, like for example, you say 2 out of 3, or 2/3 of the world, of the children in the world do not have internet at home.
Yeah.
If a child comes with that, an infographic of coloring on manila paper, that is mathematics meeting art.
Yes.
that is STEAM.
Yeah.
So the children are able to bring out solutions and ideas.
Awesome.
I'm reading a book. My current book is called The Multiply Effect. That's what I kept alluding to.
Yes.
It sees people
as either you are being the know-it-all,
Yeah.
or the one who is, you know it all. Like teachers, teachers know everything.
Yeah, they know it all.
They don't. In fact, in my class, there is a saying that says, if you're in doubt, Google it. It was made for millennials. But now, for Gen Z, they tell me, if you're in doubt, YouTube it. So I have to change that because of I keep designing. So you must bring that out.
Yeah.
Then for the teachers, we must start talking about certain things early, like digital citizenship.
Yes.
Like, how do you use technology, not for teaching? Lecturers use PowerPoints. That's not technology.
Man, yeah.
Even pencil is technology. Kitambo alikuwa anatumia kitu ingine.
Yeah.
You are using a feather to write.
Yeah.
So it's using technology for learning. How do you empower your daughter to learn using technology? And this is not coding. Just how do they develop self-resilience? I mean, like their own life to control themselves. Self-efficacy, that's the word I was looking for. To go and study. So when they go to YouTube...
Learn how to learn.
Yes.
Basically.
How do they go to using technology? Not as a distraction.
But as a learning tool.
There is no need for teachers to get scared because STEAM Labs Africa will train them on that.
Awesome.
The approaches of using technology, but also how to teach the skills that matter, whatever the content.
Cool. Great. So that was Felix. What an energizing conversation around teachers. I have learned a lot. As you said, they're raising the generation for 2050. So let's figure out how to empower them, have conversations, government come in place, pay teachers well, because I trust them with my children and they spend so much time with my children. So there we have it. Thanks for listening. I'd love to hear your comments, your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe. Ciao.